it's kind of down on the priority list, because when we looked at CIP last year, there was some movement on the private development side that may or may not be taking place. Well, with the stuff that may or may not be going down in Aspen Park, that might need to move up. Okay, if we move Ironwood up, how does that affect down the line? And then, revenues, quite frankly, are still pretty good. We're good. The pessimists in us are saying the economy's going to tank pretty soon. But
Well, just as long as we keep Ironwood on the street budget and not the park budget,
Yeah.
just so we keep that clear.
Yeah, we're looking at this, it'll never be on the parks budget.
No doubt. What did we estimate that Ironwood would be? Was it 2 million?
I was thinking it was like 2.2 or so.
yeah, it's
The total was 2.2.
Gonna be more with the way the cost of that.
yeah, the costs are up significantly. And the nice thing is that sewer's in part of the way, water's in part of the way. So the extension of the other thing that's going to complicate Ironwood, just to remind everybody, is special assessments. It's a new street, and our policy has been to special assess. Well, nobody wants special assessments. We've heard that quite a bit last year. So that always kind of drags out the project process, or the project timeline, as we go through the special assessment process.
I don't know how we can't special assess though.
I mean, the city can do what you want. The problem is if you don't special assess it, what do you do the next time a
Right.
developer comes in and says, build my street?
Yeah, it's a bad precedent.
Bad precedent.
Now,
And we're
we certainly have some justification as it's an entrance into a park. And we've taken that into account when we've looked at different assessment models, spreading that cost out on an area basis and including the entire Aspen Park or the new part of Aspen Park to spread that cost out to reduce the property owners. That part I think we can justify, but boy, just to say no special assessments on a brand new street, boy, that'd be a tough one.
And the Ironwood that we're looking at developing is just to the park, or is it going all the way
I
to?
think it's just to the park.
From Sioux to the park.
Yeah.
It's 1.8 million. 1.8.
So 2 probably now.
Two or 2.2 now.
Yeah.
Too.
And ultimately, what's the city's portion of that, do you think, based on the assessments?
On half.
Accessible project cost is about $1 million. The city's is about 805,000.
So about half.
I agree with Mindy's comment about it's not really a parks project, but it seems destined to become a lot of.
No but.
It just seems destined, if we want to make it happen, that somehow it's going to have to come out of park funding.
No,
somewhere.
the Ironwood we're talking about is a street, is the way I look at it. Once it gets into the park, then it's a park
Yep.
driveway. But that area from Sioux to the park boundary is a street. It's going to be platted as a street, assuming that we can get the property dedicated or purchased or whatever we need to do to get ownership. But that part of it is a street.
How much of that would it be? A half of it or a third?
Pardon?
How much of it would be considered a street?
The whole 1.8 would be a street.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't,
Park would be the drive.
we haven't looked at
And whatever we do.
paving costs in the park.
No, we gotta figure out stormwater stuff first, and we gotta figure out their buildings first.
Yeah, we've got, currently we've got a stormwater study going on in the park. Because as you know, everything from the core flows to Aspen Park. So we're trying to figure out how much detention space we need down there. And part of that's included in the master plan. There's some areas highlighted, but we've got a study underway right now to determine how many acres do we need in detention. And that's going to kind of determine, okay, how many buildable acres do we have? So the road and the utilities are in, sewer and water are in.
So when we did our concept plan, back, 2 years ago or whenever it was, that we bought the land and we did the concept plan and everything, did we not have a drainage facility already planned into that?
Yeah.
We
That's what
did.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that was just a concept plan though, there was no analysis done. So it was just put in there because we knew we were gonna have to have some space for it.
okay.
But we don't know how big of ponds we need, I mean, there's no outlet to that part, so that's another part to look at.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure that, I mean, it was actually considered when we were placing buildings and we were placing parks and all that kind of stuff, that it was, I don't remember, I don't have it with,
No. We should have that in here for the park meetings.
Yeah, we do have a.
There used to be one.
Yeah, the engineers are just looking at more, okay. The engineers are just looking at a more detailed study as to feet acres of water, and how many gallons of water, or CFS, or whatever we call it, that we need to store.
So Tammy, in your opinion, and Brian, the process to get Ironwood built, is that 2 years?
It won't happen this year for sure. You know, 2024 at the earliest, and then it all depends. There's, the biggest, it's basically designed.
It is.
It's designed, it's ready to bid. The special assessment process is gonna be the part that draws it out. And as we all know, that may or may not involve court. So kind of the way we've set up our assessment process is, we won't do the project until all of the court challenges are complete. So we don't want to bid the project, borrow the money, build it, and then have a court tell us, oh, hey, by the way, you're not going to be able to assess $1 million, you're only going to be able to assess $500,000. Well, now all of a sudden we're looking at, okay, where do we come up with another $500,000 in funding for the street?
however, we do have a plan from the existing Aspen Park to get to those buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, that is there. So there is access to those buildings without Ironwood. It's just
It's
not as
gravel.
convenient.
It's
Yeah,
gravel.
and it will be, yeah.
And we've already got just one entrance to the park, which is an issue.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But we at least have access to those buildings without Ironwood. So that, Ironwood is not going to hold up construction for anybody, for the wellness center or for the ice rink. It just would be more convenient to have.
Well, you know, we've been talking about Ironwood for years. I mean, since we've had Park Board, right? And then it kind of went down the lower on the list, but with the opportunities that seem to be presenting themselves, I think we're going to have to push it up. We're probably, when we do the CIP, we may need to have somebody come from Park Board to talk to council to try to get us over the hump for that, because we're gonna have to come up with that money someplace. They get tired of listening to me, so it's always good to have a fresh face.
Is that just in general? Or
Just in
is it-
general, yeah. I've been here too long. Yeah. Too long. Oh, it's Barb, just talking about parks again, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so what do we need to do on that then? What's our next action step?
When's the next park board meeting?
The 19th.
Okay. You've got time, let it, mull it over, you know, like I said, we need the information around the 19th. If it's the park board, we can maybe wait a couple of days. And then we'll start working on CIP with the council probably the second Monday in May. So that'll give staff some time to review the numbers, start plugging them in, start looking at forecasting revenues and debt and interest rates and all that wonderful stuff that Christina gets to do. And that's gonna kind of what drives how much money we have to start sinking into projects.
So you're saying that consider Ironwood over to the side, not part of our budget. So we would want to come up with what's important for us to try to get done in 2024? So that's
Yeah.
what, that's our, or,
2024,
and
you know, we
beyond.
look at 5 years.
yeah.
So
So our
2024,
priorities.
yeah.
So that's what we want to come up with next month? Okay. So brainstorm and think about it and then come up with the list?
I mean, if nothing else, take a look at it this way. You can throw a project at a board or a council and they kind of go, eh. The second year, they go, oh, yeah, I remember this. And then finally, by the third, fourth, or fifth year, you beat them down enough that
Yeah.
they finally say yes.
And I think our revenue's going to be pretty good. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Item number 9, 2023 projects update. Devin.
Not much of an update.
What have you been doing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right.
moving snow.
Yeah. Tallgrass playground is supposed to be delivered tomorrow. We'll see with the weather.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Mike.
What happens with that. Nothing's obviously gonna happen with installation until the ground thaws.
Where are they delivering it to?
Down at the park shop. What's that?
In the rain and snow.
Yeah, I told them what we're supposed to get, so we'll see
That's
if they show up.
It's good news to get it,
Yeah,
so.
yep, getting it's half the battle, so. Pool lights, still working with MCNR on that. Pioneer, Gil Haugen Construction is gonna come out and take a look at that, possibly Monday. Tallgrass parking lot, Tammy is still working on the pervious pavement project. Nothing
I can fix
for-
that real quick.
I'm shocked.
Nothing further yet on the ADA path at Aspen. Working on that.
That'll get done after baseball softball.
Yeah, if and when that happens, it wouldn't be till July, August.
Because God knows we'd start digging it up and it'd rain and rain and
Yeah,
rain.
that's kind of about the gist of it.
Purchase the loader though?
Yeah, we got that purchased right away. We've already got a fair amount of hours on it too.
Okay.
Yep,
And save money on it?
yeah,
Can we spend that on something else?
I believe I've already spent it now.
Yeah, he's already,
Sorry, beat you to it.
when it comes to purchasing equipment and stuff, Devin's very efficient. He's got it kind of down.
Use
So
it.
December rolls around,
Yeah.
I'm getting bids.
Yep, that's the way to do it, Dennis. When we
Otherwise,
get it,
if you hold on to it, it goes away eventually.
Just for what it's worth, once the tall grass stuff begins, I think it'd be nice to have Jill or someone from the paper and get the word out about that on social media as well. I don't think,
Not an easy one because it was a grant to Community Foundation grant, so.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
so Devin, so if we're talking about projects for next month, you'll come with your thoughts then too?
Yeah, I'll probably get with staff here and we'll see what we want to do or think we can do. And if we got it sooner, we can email it out to you guys too to look at.
Item number 10, 50th anniversary celebration.
We've had 3 meetings? 4.
Christina
4
looks like she's thinking 300, but
Well, they all kind of blend together. It started out, I think we had 12 or 15. The last 2 meetings, we've had 2. So we've got a long list of potential activities that sound fun. We're just now trying to get bodies to help out. For instance, and I'm going to miss some stuff. Friday, planning a picnic down at Aspen Park. Community picnic catered by Tony's, hot dogs, chips, water, pop, something like that. Along with that, trivia contest or trivia game done by the Historical Society. I think they're the ones that are coordinating that. Possibly a 70s costume thing. Now, I've warned the group that most of them are young enough not to remember the 70s and the fashion. I've warned them it's horrendous. And, in the middle of summer with a polyester shirt or a leisure suit,
Big white pants.
yeah. Double D is doing a street dance, or they're planning on a street dance on Saturday. This is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of July.
Is that when everyone's dressed up as 70s?
Sure. The Chamber is coordinating a bloodmobile, or a blood drive on that Friday, kind of a Battle of the Badges type thing. So she's got that rolling. We've talked about some type of Crazy Days activities, because that was big in the 70s. We'll see if there's anybody that wants to participate in that. Paper airplane contest at the tower in McCarty Park, depending on the weather. Tethered balloon rides at Pioneer Park, depending on the weather. Disc golf. The football team is going to have a 7-on-7 tournament Saturday and Sunday at the football field. invite in other teams. We're trying to figure out a car tractor show, but that might be out of our reach. VFW's doing a poker run. Barbecue contest. Barbecue cooking contest at McCarty. Movie night on Friday night at Aspen Park. Maybe. Everything's maybe. Hometown Days is going to be at the middle school. That's run by the Optimists. Scavenger type hunt using some kind of magic electronic gadget that the school uses for theirs throughout town.
An app.
Hmm?
An app.
An app? Whatever. One of those phone things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Historical Society's gonna have the cabin open. Sunday, we've talked to the Ministerial Association to see if they wanted to have a joint church service down in Field A. That's still up in the air. Now, to complicate all of this, if the Legion team is successful this summer and are the #1 seed, that is the weekend of the tournament, and the #1 seed hosts. So, there's that to kind of. No.
Plan B, bring your bag chairs to McCarty.
Yeah. You know, we can move the picnic and stuff. I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff.
Gaga ball.
Oh, Gaga Ball tournament,
Yeah, oh,
pickleball tournament maybe. That's what we're trying, that's what we're trying to find.
that's what we're trying to find is, I think the next one is, you gotta have somebody commit to run something, otherwise we're gonna have to start doing the limit down.
Yeah.
I mean, a few things, yeah, Double D's doing street dance, VFW's doing the poker, Hometown Days is doing their, Optimist Club is doing their Hometown Days, Historical Society's done the scavenger hunt, so, I mean, there are some things that
They're pretty
they
easy.
picked up and are for sure, there's just a lot of things that have to be picked up by somebody or dropped. So
You know-
once we kind of have a final list, we'll get it out to you. They have talked about free swim down at the pool that weekend, whether that's one night or just the whole weekend.
Might as well be the whole weekend.
Probably the whole weekend is probably what we'll do. Talk to the manager and, see if he makes that work.
You know, we're reaching out to like the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, the athletic associations which use the individual parks, the baseball, softball, see if they can help out in Aspen, soccer and hockey help out in McCarty. You know, a 5K run, you know, Jamie Mitchell is not gonna, she'll help, but maybe a 5K run on Saturday, maybe the track team can help out. You know, at the corners is basically all we need somebody for. So, if you know anybody that wants to help, John. You're welcome.
Nothing right now for tree board. That just kind of stays on forever. Yeah, cool.
All right, our next meeting will be April 19th. Now we're still at 6:15.
Good week. Good.
April 19th at 6:15.
Just quick update. Deb and I met with the school today about the tennis courts. So, the agreement that we have come to is we're not gonna redo a lease. We'll just do some type of a maintenance agreement or MOU with the school where we split the cost if and when maintenance is needed, so lights or resurfacing or whatever. And then lights will, we're not, I didn't think anybody's really enthused to spend $100,000 for a whole new light system at the tennis courts to appease one property owner. So we'll fix the light that's broken, and then the timer will be set probably about 9:30.
9:30, and we'll give them access. If it goes long, they can get into the box and manually turn them on.
Then we get tennis.
Yeah. Ty has the key if you need it.
Good to know.
And we have witnesses that he has it, so.
Did they move the snow so they can get into the?
Snow's still there.
There's lots.
7